Today's video. Today I'm still in Auckland, but the weather is a little bit damp outside, so just filming indoors. And today I was just out this morning and doing a few things, and just within the last half hour or so, as a culmination of some of the events of this morning, today's topic came to me, which I'm going to talk about art and how that's related to my journey. So just a few things from this morning. One of the things that I've been doing of recent times is I've never been a person who felt that they can creatively translate imagery into a art form, certainly not in terms of painting or drawing. But having discovered of recent times the power of AI, I've been utilizing that to express some of my visual thoughts, visual ideas. And so just beginning on that, and of recent times I've been literally taking some of the photos that I've been taking of myself or out in nature and combining that into imagery that I've asked AI to then design and come up with some sort of picture, I guess, that I can then post on my Instagram and Facebook, just as an expression of part of my journey. So my journey is multifaceted. I do a lot of writing to reflect what I've done. I wrote my whole life story last year after I returned from Peru in July 2025. That centered around my spiritual journey. And that's all on my website, viviendolamahia.nz.com. I've got some other writings on there, which are shorter versions of insights into my life, again, with the spiritual perspective. And then even of more recent times, I've been doing effectively daily videos, just drawing upon some of those experiences, some of those insights, and placing them on my Instagram and Facebook. Now, this morning I did a couple of things. One was last evening it came to me that I had never asked AI to portray some of the imagery of something that was the most profound event in my life. So as I've explained in some of my prior videos, and I've also gone in depth in my writing, Viviendo La Mahia, my trip to Peru, I experienced some of the sacred ceremonies over there, including the plant medicines and the medicines. And in the Sapo experience, which is the Bufo Alvarius toad, I visited First Level Heaven. And I've talked quite a lot about how it was just the most wonderful visual imagery that I saw. I was effectively there for just 5 minutes. And even on top of that was the emotions associated with that actual moment in time. So I called it First Level Heaven because, well, that's exactly how it felt to me. First level because when I was in this situation or in this process, it was a feeling or more of a knowing that there was many, many more dimensions to heaven that I was visualizing. I was having a near-death experience, effectively. So this morning I asked AI if it could design for me something that I could use for the imagery of what I saw. And part of what I saw partway through the actual imagery, which I won't go into all detail here, was a mandala flower. And the flower took up most of the scene, most of the visual. And it was rows and rows of small petals, black outlines shaped as love hearts, rows upon rows. And the colours of the flower from the inside out were red on the first few layers of the petals, through to orange, through to yellow, through to green on the outside. And then right around the outside of that were clouds that had been present in the full visual previously, with all the rainbow colours, but in those clouds now were just the blue, indigo and violet. And a shining, most intense white light illuminating the scene from behind. So I've talked about that in detail elsewhere. But today I got AI to, just to give me some imagery of that. It's not something that I would necessarily at this stage of my development sit down and be able to draw. And yeah, I've taken that image, I've placed it against a song and put it on Instagram. Chose the song Heaven Can Wait by Meatloaf, and the words in there relating to having a glimpse of paradise, which was enough to see or to inspire me to remember the child in me, and therefore heaven can wait. So those are effectively what the lyrics are saying. So again, there was a great insight when I chose that song, because one could say that heaven being this most incredible place to be, I mean, just the visual emanation, the emotions just beyond words, it's love and bliss times 10 on anything we know here on, or I know here on the physical material plane. But having been fortunate enough to have this glimpse into paradise, one might think, well, are you in a hurry to get there? And the answer is no, because you know that you have such profound information from such a experience that you need to integrate it back into your material physical plane, your day-to-day life. And you want to do that as much as possible, because you have recognized that you can have heaven on earth, paradise on earth. I've talked about this before, about bringing back from the higher realms what my learnings have been. And previously, I've expressed them either in written form or in terms of video. So this is my energy going out, this excess energy that I brought back from that particular place. I'm using that for writing. I'm using that for the words that I express here and the energy required to put all this together. And it's excess energy that I'm needing to use in a positive manner. And the positive manner is to bring light, bring this light back. So I'm utilizing that at the moment, or just started to, in terms of this putting together what I've seen in these other realms. And one of the things I learned in Peru was very clear that a lot of their artwork, or the bulk of the artwork that relates to such things, is it's what the artist sees in these other realms, and they're bringing it back into earth, bring it back to the earth plane. Just kind of talk about this morning. So I was actually, after I got the AI to design that mandala, I decided to look for what events were happening in Auckland today. So today is a Monday, but it is a public holiday in Auckland, or New Zealand actually. It's King's birthday weekend, and we celebrate that as a public holiday. And I noticed in the suburb of Ponsonby that there was a art exhibition on, and it was related to, it was called Gaps of Silence, and it was imagery of oceanic gods expressed, and the underlying theme was that the memories of what we hold having been taken away by colonization. And colonization can also really relate to conditioning. So I talk about this a lot. So about being born divine. So as a child, we have we've come into the world with the divinity in us, and it gets conditioned out of us by society. And the same with colonization. So like with ancient civilizations, the colonization has tried at times to suppress that and impose its own imagery, I guess, or doctrine upon civilizations. Anyway, I went along to go into this art exhibition, and unfortunately it was actually closed for the day, although it had indicated on the website it was open, but it was actually closed as a public holiday. And that's okay, because I went for a walk down Ponsonby Road, which is a very popular spot in Auckland, suburb quite close to the city itself. And as I was walking, I looked across the road and I spotted a lady walking a dog. And she was familiar to me. And familiar in the sense that I had been seeing some of her videos online. Her name is Hannah. And I crossed the road to chat to her. And Hannah has been, I guess in summary, without telling her story, has been documenting her journey, her healing, her process from going from where she was to heading to where she wants to be. So I talk a lot about people's paths. And I actually went over and said, "Hi, are you Hannah?" And she said, "Yes." And we had a great chat. It was fairly short, maybe 10 minutes. But it was so lovely to be able to sort of express to her that I could understand that she was on her journey. I saw where she was coming from, and so it was the fact that the art exhibition was closed led me to, I guess, making a one-on-one connection with someone, which is always wonderful. Getting back to art, I've never been someone who could necessarily appreciate art. I could look at a picture and say, yeah, that's someone's put some time and effort into drawing that picture, and not really looking much beyond what might lay in the brush strokes above. I followed a philosopher by the name of Alan Watts. Now, Alan Watts, from the 1960s, 70s, English gentleman who was a philosopher who incorporated a lot of Eastern religion into his philosophy, took a lot of it to America, and did a lot of lectures and online recordings. And I always remember that at one stage he spoke about art and what people see in art. And he talked about it more from the perspective of someone who purchases art. And in art, the purchaser may be someone with money. So like, the people who can afford some extravagant sums at times for art. But what were they really buying? What they were buying, from his perspective, and I would have to agree with that, is that they saw in that art something that they were not. So they saw in the art the expression of the artist, the free artist, the rebellious person who's not following mainstream society. The businessman, for example, he's working in his business, making money and having a good time, no doubt. But he doesn't have the inclination or time, kind of a bit like myself historically, to sit down and draw any art for himself or go deep enough into his own self to find the art that could come out. So he's utilizing the painting or the art from the other person, so to speak, to see in it what deep down he has an inkling is in him. And it's more than an inkling, it does exist. It's just that it's not yet been uncovered. So the painting is there to show him or remind him what's inside of himself. So we're getting back to all that, the things I talk about, remembrance of our true self. So the uncovering aspect of my symbolism. So the Gnostic universal realms uncovered. I was speaking to a lady a few days ago as well, and she has an arts degree. She has done art. She's having a break from it, but she does art, she said, similar to a gentleman called Alex Gray. And I'd heard the name, but I'd never really looked at his art. And I had a look as I was talking to her, and it was very familiar. It was art of the higher realms, and the higher realms that I had seen in my ayahuasca ceremonies. And I described that as a kaleidoscopic, fractal, quantum universe art. So yeah, if one wants to go and have a look at Alex Gray, I think it's spelled G.U.R.U. Yeah, that's the imagery that I saw at times in my ayahuasca ceremony. So my appreciation of art now, and I can only suggest for others, it's again what's below the surface of the brush strokes. There's a lot of meaning the further one goes down in the layers, literally, of the picture, or it doesn't have to be a picture. It could be ceramics, it could be jewelry. I wear a piece of jewelry around my neck, which has so much deep meaning to me, but this is a piece of art around my neck. Not something that I could have necessarily made myself, but from the imagery of what I now see out there and can bring it together at the moment through AI, it's things that I can see how artists tap into it's the infinite intelligence. It's they're tapping into the higher realms, and they're bringing it back. So again, talking about that heaven situation that I've got in that mandala that I've done, and anyone, if they go onto my Instagram, will see the representation of that now, or on my Facebook, I've put it up there. The ability to bring it back into the earthly realm for others, and it's there for others to have a look at, and in a way, I mean, it's up to what others do with it, but it's there as a reminder. It's a reminder of where we came from and where we're going. It's a reminder of eternity. My sort of movement towards appreciating art has accelerated of recent times. And now I'm going to try and express it through AI for imagery. But I'm going to continue in my writing to express my creativity. And in my words, I talk about my throat chakra being perhaps my strength at this stage. So I'll continue to make some videos. I'm going to start some new writings of some short insights that I've had of recent times. And I'll continue trying to bring light to the world or to people. And the reason for that is because that is the mission. That is the mission, not just of myself, but of the artists. I've no doubt that they are trying to express the higher realms back into humanity. Right, I'll leave today's video at that. I say thank you for listening. As always, I'll continue on my journey, make some more videos, and I will ask that you enjoy the journey. We will meet when we should, and namaste.